have some headroom. It's not terrible, although I'm kind of back. Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to the Texas Truck Channel. I'm Craig.
And I'm Brian.
And oh, Brian, look at this.
Dude, we are driving Dad's truck. We'll explain that in a minute. Look, behind me we have the 2011 Ford Ranger. Let's just get to it. This is from our boys in Granbury at Shottenkirk Ford. They hooked us up on this. This is traded in last week, and it is a complete cream puff. We had to film it today. We just stopped whatever we had on the schedule, and we came to do this. It's a big deal. If you're interested in this truck, check out in the description below. We've got Raupe. He's our contact for this one. He can help you get into this thing if you want it. But back to nostalgia. 2011, Craig, this truck was old then, and it was almost at the end of its life cycle, but we got a good one. It's 4x4, it's got the big engine, and well, it's got the automatic, unfortunately, but it's a 5-speed instead of the old one. So let's get into it. I want to start with the Monroney, which is digital this time. Any guesses on price, Craig?
Well, yeah, because I saw it earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah, $27,000. It's Tornado red, and it is over medium dark flint cloth. They just had silly names like that. I dig that. But in terms of that, it's kind of all you get is 4x4. But because it's XLT, you do get some power stuff. You get power windows and locks. You get a satellite radio antenna. In fact, I love seeing what we consider normal tech now thrown on what was honestly a late 80s design platform, and it just kept getting made and getting refreshed, and they just kept sticking things on it. Let's get the wheel and tire and get into that first. With the XLT package, it has the alloy wheels, and Craig, the keen eye will notice that this is a Ford center cap, right? But this wheel is straight off a Mazda B series. It was, I think, discontinued at this point, but the higher trim Fords shared that wheel. Wrapped around it is a Goodyear Wrangler. These are 235, 55, 15s, which is what the old F-150s used to run. Ask us how we know. Something I want to point out, Craig, is suspension. Ford brags in the Monroney that this thing has short long arm suspension, which is engineering talk for double wishbone. What you don't see there, Craig, is a coil spring. What you do get is a torsion rod that is bolted to the frame rail. I'll be honest, it's not very refined, but that's just what Ford did for a long time.
Very Chevy of them.
Very Chevy, and actually very old Toyota of them too. So anyways, we do want to talk about options, Craig. We've got chrome because it's XLT, and then down below we've got a side step. Any idea what that costs?
Yeah, $100.
$105. That today, we'll go look at our project truck over here. That has Predator steps. Those are $745. Man, things used to be cheap. That is awesome. I love it. We do have exterior wise, we have a body line, and that's about where the styling stops.
But the same body line they had since like early 90s.
It hasn't changed. Also, a little more background. I have a work truck in my day-to-day that is a 2004 version of this. Not much has changed from 04 to 2011. It's pretty crazy. We have a fuel door. It's not capless, and it dangles, and it works. I love how it's old school. There's no cover. There's actually a stake body slot. Back in the day, trucks had to have these because farmers would build wooden slats. Imagine a fence that would drop in here, and they put livestock in the back of these things. Kind of crazy to consider. Now, the good news, Craig, she is still 4-wheel drive, but man, she is old school. No 4-auto, no traction management systems. Does have traction control. We'll show you that in a minute, but pretty just straightforward stick axle situation. Let's come around to the back. We do have a traditional tailgate. I'm gonna let Craig show the interior of the bed in a minute, but we do have this, look at this big receiver hitch. Back in the day, you didn't have a factory receiver. This is an aftermarket. This did not come from the factory. The factory hitch was in the bumper right here. You would cut this cap out and bolt in.
A real bumper pull.
A real bumper pull, because this is a steel bumper. This is not some aftermarket ARB thing. They just used to be steel. That's how it was. In fact, way back in the day, you buy a truck that didn't have a bumper. You had to go to your version of Tractor Supply and find the bumper you wanted and bolt it on there. Kind of crazy.
You know, pedestrian safety, who cares about them in 2011?
Look down below, we have a full-size spare, and we also have a live axle. I believe this is a 7.5 axle, not an 8.8. Let's come check out this chrome tip and see what it sounds like. All right, boys and girls, time to flash back to 2011 with a motor that came out in 2005 for the Mustang, and that is the 4-liter, gosh, that's a heavy hood. Ford didn't know what aluminum was yet. 4-liter Cologne V6, actually made in Germany of all places. Good for 207 horsepower, 238 foot-pounds of torque. And where's the timing chain, Craig?
Just like other German engines, in the rear.
In the back, way back here, which is actually what usually puts these things in junkyards when they do go. The vehicle usually has several 100,000 miles, and it's not worth pulling the motor to fix it, really is what happens. But this puppy has 58,000 miles. It's a cream puff. It's good to go.
Ron, where else could you find that engine?
Mustangs, LR3s, older Rangers, Explorers, Aviators. That just everything Ford just like bam, 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 bam.
Mail trucks.
Mail trucks, yeah, I still hear them in mail trucks. I'll tell you, we have an LR3 V8. I would not want this in there. All that covered, it's bolted to a 5-speed auto, traditional 2-speed, high and low range transfer case. That's about it. Let's check out the interior.
All right, Brian, let's continue the flashback to 2011. Let's check out.
Why are you laughing?
Because I love 2011. It was a good time. Things were simple. So simple that, look, let's see if I can lock this tailgate.
Wait.
No, you can't lock the tailgate.
There's no keyhole.
It's very heavy. You can't know.
Okay.
It's very heavy. But you know what it is, Brian? It's simple.
Yeah.
It just works.
Yeah, it works.
Holds me, works.
Okay.
You can take it off or steal it like you need. This has got the little cover on the back, which is nice if you don't want stuff to fly around. But you know, whatever, you can roll that back and that's nice. But this particular model, Brian, has a really overspray so that you can protect anything you put on top of here. What I love about this, you can just throw anything on here and it's not going to scratch it. Well, we scratched on this out here. So, but anyways, you're very protected here. Safety first. All right, Brian, let's check out the rear seat. To get in the rear seat, there's a clamshell design. You pull the handle. Don't see this on very many vehicles anymore, if any. You got some storage back here. You got a little cup holder. Wait, cup holder, Brian. Why is there a cup holder?
There's no...
There's a cup holder, Brian, because there's a seat still. You
No way.
pop it down, you pull it up, and yes, you sit sideways. And it's even got a seat belt that's adjustable. I want to get in here. I want to show you all this. And
do you know why that seat belt's there, Craig?
I don't know where it buckles, but it buckles somewhere. It works.
Yeah.
Look, if you're a kid and you don't have to legally be in a car seat like back in 2011, this is the best spot in the world to sit.
Yeah, you can look forward and back.
Yeah.
Our dad had a truck like this color and this cab. I've spent way too many miles getting car sick in one of these right here.
Okay, before we move to the front, we need to check headroom because, Brian, there's no moonroof here.
Yep.
So that means you might fit.
Oh gosh, I feel like I drew the short end of the straw.
I can't pull the camera far enough back. So.
Move your knee.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, I don't think it works.
Okay, so at one point you did fit in here.
I don't know.
No longer. I do have some headroom. It's not terrible, although I'm kind of scrunched in.
You get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Brian, moving on to the front. Let's start with the door. Starting at the top, you do get a padded door seal that is very nice, and especially a cheap Ranger like this, that little door, the lock button.
Yeah, what is that?
That's how Ford did it, and that's the best way it's ever done in history. And it should always be like that because you can still pull it up by hand if need be, but it's low enough that it doesn't really bother you. And you pull the handle and it just opens. That was the way to do it. Anyways, moving on down to the armrest. The armrest itself is kind of padded, very plasticky, lots of plastics. You do get an auto down driver window over here.
Not on passenger.
But you do get power windows in this thing, pretty cool. Only 2 switches because these are the only windows that go up and down. Power door locks, pretty nice. And power windows, Brian. Down here we got models for the Hydro Flask. No, Hydro Flask weren't around in 2011, so there's no Hydro Flask spot. We use a chrome step, okay? Now we use the other door step, really kind of pointless. That's really nice. Let's see what the gauges look like when I start it up. Oh no, the gauges are already on. I can see what the gauges are because they're actually analog. I can see what's going on there. That's lovely and beautiful. And Brian, look at this. This is a key. So what happens now is you do push button start and then you forget where your key's at.
This is like, you know what this is? This is like those hieroglyphics that had the key icon.
Yes.
Like the new keys that don't have a key. That's what this is.
Right. Well, but what it does is it's a really neat feature. So right now you hit the start button, you forget where your key's at. Where's your key? Hey, is it in your pocket? Is it in the purse? Where's it? No, so they got this little slot over here. It's really cool. So what you do is you put the key into the slot, and then what it does, see, Brian, I've let go of it.
All right, Boomer.
And you'll see that it's still holding the key. It hasn't gone anywhere. So that's really nice. Let's start it up and see what the gauges do. The gauge is already on. You get all of them. Look at all the options there. Start this bad boy up, and the gauges just work. And it, like Ron did earlier on the exhaust, it just revs. This is a cream puff, Brian. It has 58,000 miles. That is it. Let's move on to the infotainment screen. This is the screen right here. And it gives you time. It gives you station. There's a volume knob. There's a tuning button. There's all kinds of buttons. This is just for the radio buttons. And then also, Brian, see the little slots here?
Yeah.
So if you don't like this infotainment screen, what you can do is you can just put a different one in aftermarket.
Yeah.
Very
can't do that anymore.
Aftermarket accessories. They really focused on that here. So, and then HVAC controls. 3 knobs. Speed. Temp, where do you want it to blow? It's that simple. Back in the day, big deal, electronic 4-wheel drive shift button. Very nice. You don't have to be a monkey and pull a lever. You just flip the dial. It's really nice. And this is, look, you see this little icon here? That is for smoking.
That's illegal now.
That's actually, yeah, banned. You can't do that anymore. Brian, this is actually a big deal here. Traction, but you want to explain what that is in a Ford Ranger?
Yeah, so look, back in the day, Rangers were known for just spinning out in the wet because there was no weight in the rear and losing it. Ford didn't rectify that, but when the federal government made it a requirement, they threw it in here off of other vehicles. So it does have it. It keeps the rear tires from spinning. That is not stability control. That is just traction.
And then, Brian, to connect to the wonderful infotainment, what you do is you get a cable, a physical cable, and you just plug it in here into your phone, and it just immediately connects. There's no Bluetooth. There's no connectivity. There's no buttons to push or syncing. It just connects.
Yep, every time.
Also, I do still get cup holders, and I get an armrest with a little slot there, or bin.
Got a little storage down here.
A little storage down here. I'll say this, it's maybe not the most roomy thing in the back, but up front, it's fun. 0 to 60 time, let's hit it.
Let's go.
All right, Brian, we're in the 2011 Ford Edge, which makes...
Not an Edge, it's Ranger.
Brian, we're in a 2011 Ford Ranger with the German engine.
The Cologne.
Yes, what motor are you gonna go with?
Overdrive off, because that's the only control we have in the transmission. Traction off.
And boost mode engaged?
Oh yeah, AC compressor off.
Yes, also known as boost mode.
Right.
Hit it.
Whoa!
Oh, okay.
I think I can.
Got it.
This is the big motor back
Yep.
And 60!
How much power does this make?
207?
And torque?
238.
Okay.
Yeah.
That got us 10.08 seconds.
Okay.
Double digits, buddy.
Okay, look, I can explain.
With me in the car.
You in the car and in two-wheel drive, and we had wheel spin, and then traction came in
True.
afterwards. So
all
look,
those things.
all the excuses out of the way. Without you in the car, the best run of our 4 pre-off camera shoots that we do, 8.41.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot better than 10.
Look, I'll say this. Actually, back in 2011 for this old platform, that's honestly not terrible.
No, it's not, because last year's Tacoma was 8.5.
And
so
that's
faster than that.
That's exactly where I was headed. And excellent point. Speaking of Tacomas, and let's just continue down that road. You probably get really good mileage in this, though, Brian, though, because it's a small truck, and it's not real fast.
Well,
right?
The sticker says 1418.
But
I can report that my 3-liter version of this that I have at work gets about 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
And look, I can report that I had a 4-banger version of this.
And you had a brand new 2000.
Yeah.
Look at all the Rangers that are alive.
It was actually not terrible. With a manual and a regular cab, I would have hit 20s every now and then.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
not bad.
Not terrible.
Okay, let's talk ergo real quick, because you talked about interiors.
Okay, yes.
Ride and drive and ergo. Look, I can see everything out of this. There's no console nonsense. You've got a column shifter.
Yes, plenty of room.
While we've gotten safer and technically better, some things aren't better, and that's it. Now, everything else, we've come a long way, Craig.
We've come a long way mechanically, that's for sure.
So ride and drive, it rides like it has a steering gearbox instead of rack and pinion, which it does. And it rides like it has torsion springs instead of coils, which it does.
And, Brian, there's some other things, like the steering wheel's a little off-center.
Yeah, it is. It's not straight in the cab. It's like this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because you gotta get that gearbox. The wheels, when you're behind it, it looks like this thing's been in a wreck, but we know it hasn't.
It hasn't, because all of them are that way.
Right.
They are all, the front and rear axles aren't perfectly in alignment.
Correct.
And I can tell you what that's from.
Yes, go
This
ahead.
platform has been in production for so long. The tooling has worn out at the manufacturer with Ford. And so the mounts aren't perfect, right?
I mean, look, Land Cruiser 70 Series in Australia have the same problem, and they're brand new, okay?
Totally.
It's kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Brian, I guess the point is, yes, we've come a long way, we've gotten a lot better.
Right.
But also, the old adage of, well, make them like they used to. I'm just gonna...
There's some truth there. Yeah.
Mostly, thank you. I'm glad they don't make them like they used to.
Yeah. Thank God. Yeah.
But we haven't gotten better in some areas.
No, we haven't.
So,
at the end of the day, this is a Ford freaking Ranger, and the nostalgia is off the charts.
Yes.
If you're interested in this, check out Carl's contact below. This thing is awesome, and thanks to Shot and Kurt for letting us drive this thing. It's a genuine cream.
And this example, I'll be honest, it should be on Bring a Trailer, and it's going to bring a ton of money if it was on there.
Yeah, agreed.
You're going to get a bargain if you buy this thing not on Bring a Trailer. Buy it and put it on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
This thing's a cream puff.
It's so cool. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.